Hi everyone. I hope all of you are doing pretty fun. And now we are going to start with the body movements and we are going to finish the rest of the chapter today. I really hope that you guys have been revising everything and learning constantly, right? Because it is very important that you revise everything. If you leave things for the later on, like for the next day or for the later time, it's going to pile up and then it's going to be a real headache. Okay. So moving forward, we'll be covering these particular topics. All right. We'll be learning how different animals move, how the movement in the different animals occur. For example, we'll be learning about the earthworm, snail, cockroach, snake, birds, vertebrates and invertebrates. And then we'll be talking about a few diseases of the skeletal system which concern you in this particular standard. Okay. Now, moving forward, first of all, you should understand what snail actually is, right? Everybody has seen a snail, a garden snail, right? So this is the most common garden snail that is present there. Now, important part about the garden snail is what you see right here, that this is a particular gooey structure. Snail has a very soft body, all right? Snail has a very soft body and it hides its body into a shell, which is the hard shell, right? Which is the hard shell. Now see, since the snail itself hides into the hard shell and has a very soft body, the soft body of the snail moves by the means of contracting and relaxing, right? You see the soft body, the entire body is called as the foot. Okay, now this is the head, this is the head right here, and this entire body is the foot. Okay, so foot of the snail is very thick as you see in the diagram, and it is made up of very strong muscles. One thing's for sure, whenever the body lacks into one thing, it is going to make up for it into the another thing. For example, if the snail does not have as strong skeletal or anything, it will have the strong muscles which help in the proper movement from one place to the another, right? So the muscular organ is called as the foot and it helps in the locomotion. Now how it moves like this and then this and then this. All right. So basically there is a rhythmic movement of muscular foot muscles by contraction and relaxation. Right? Now, that being said, we're going to move forward to the earthworm. Everybody has seen earthworm. Everybody has seen earthworm at least once in their life, right? And if you're a fan of a gardening, I'm sure you have seen earthworm more than once, and you do realize that earthworms are also called as the farmer's friend or the gardener's friend. Why? Because they help in making the soil very porous, very airy, right? And they also help in digesting the organic material which is present in the soil and hence increasing the fertility of the soil, right? Now, see, earthworms, obviously, because it's a worm, it is not going to have any bone. Okay, earthworm is an invertebrate. Invertebrate are the organisms which do not have the vertebral column or do not have the spinal column, right? We did study about the spinal column or the vertebral column in the last session. Now see, the entire earthworm body is made up of rings, as you can see in this particular diagram right here, right? And every single cell of the body which is present on the outside of the earthworm secretes a slimy substance, okay? And that slimy substance helps into the slithering of the earthworm. Okay, so the slimy substance which is secreted by the body helps in the movement, help in the body movement, right? Now, what you see right here is you see the movement shown by the not cockroach, the earthworm, right? You see there is the contraction. You see the segments first of all, right? All the rings that we're talking about, which the earthworm body is made up of, these are basically the segments. Okay, they are the different segments which are together, and they also move by the proper contraction, and they need a friction area. Everybody knows what a friction is. If you guys do not know, ask a physics teacher. By the way, I'm going to explain it anyhow. So friction is the any kind of resistance which is present present between the two bodies, right? So friction usually plays role with the help of the surfaces. Okay, so you see it is very important for an earthworm to have the friction with the surface in order to move, because it is going to contract and relax and contract and relax and move like this, right? This is how the earthworm moves, right? And the direction, the contraction is in the direction of the movement. Okay, as in the contraction is going to start with the mouth part, and then it is going to spread, or it is going to move towards the entire body, towards the end of the entire body, and hence the earthworm is going to move forward, as you see in this particular diagram, right? We have the contraction starting from the contraction is happening in the head region of the earthworm. Okay, and then it is going to move forward and spread into the entire body, and hence making the earthworm move forward with the help of the displacement like this, right? Now that being said, we are going to move forward to the cockroach. hmm Important thing about the cockroaches, they belong to the phylum Arthropoda. Okay, again, about all the arthropoda, mollusca, etc., etc., you're going to learn about these in detail in the ninth standard in the chapter diversity in the living organisms, and it is pretty interesting. So with the help of the cockroach, we are going to understand what is the exoskeleton, although I have already explained you people with the help of the cockroach as an example itself, that exoskeleton in the arthropod is it made up of the chitin. Okay, and it is very very hard and stiff. It's like the hard outer covering. Okay, and that hard outer covering helps in the proper protecting of the mushy organs or the mushy internal organs which are present in the cockroaches, right? The body movements of the cockroach are because of the legs and because of the wings, right? It has about 3 pair of legs which help in the walking, and it has about 2 pairs of wings. Yes, yes, you heard it right. Cockroaches have 2 pairs of wings. Who could have thought about it, right? And out of these 2 pairs, one helps in the protection, which is very, very leathery. Okay. And another one helps in the flying, which is kind of transparent and membranous. Okay. Transparent and membranous. Right. So the thing is, if we draw the cockroach will have wings like this, and it'll have wings like this. So these are the ones which are transparent, okay, and membranous, and these are the ones which are leathery in appearance, as in they're sort of thicker than the transparent ones. So the leathery ones are the ones which help in the protection, and transparent are the ones which help in the flying, on top of having 3 legs which help in the walking, right? So that is how cockroaches move. And if you really want to see a cockroach into the action, you might as well want to go to a garden, or you might as well, go to a kitchen area which is not very clean. Okay, or you need to look up into the sink, and then you'll see the cockroaches in action. And next thing is the fish. Now see, fishes are pretty interesting. Why? Because fishes have a lot of scales onto their body, right? And the scales which fishes have, they reduce the frictional drag, as in, you see, do one thing. You can do an experiment. You can have a bucket full of water, and when you put your hand inside the bucket full of water, and if you try to move your hand in this manner with open palm, it'll be very difficult for you to move your hand. It'll take a lot of energy. But if you close your palm and you move it not like this but like this, it is going to have a proper movement, less energy, and faster movement, right? This is how the fishes move. First of all, they have a lot of scales which are very slippery, and they reduce the friction between the water and the body of the fish. And then they have a streamlined shape. Streamlined shape means which basically have a shape like this. Okay, and this type of shape will reduce the friction. Why? Because the substance is going to slide past it. Okay, any substance is going to slide past it, and this helps in the enhancing the locomotion or the movement from one place to another via swimming, since these are fishes. Okay, apart from that, coordination between the muscles and the tail of the fish are very very important, and the fins, they help in the movement in water, especially in the direction. Okay, so I'm going to write that down here for you. So coordination between the muscles and fish is very important. Fish fin, or you can write fin, that is up to you. Okay, fin is very important, and fin, it determines the direction, determines the direction. All right. Now that being said, now we're going to move forward with the disease of the skeletal. See, there are multiple types of disease of the skeletals, okay? But before that, I think we should cover the birds and snakes, right? So we're going to do one thing. We are going to cover the birds and snakes first of all, and then we are going to move to the disease of the skeletal, right? So we'll do the birds first, and then we'll do the snakes first, like later, not first. So you see, when we are talking about the birds, birds have their four limbs modified into the wings, which is very, very important. Four limbs modified into the wings, with the help of which they actually fly, right? Everybody has seen a bird. And if not, I'm gonna try to draw one. Okay. And here we are. Okay, these are the hind limbs. So you see their four limbs, they are called as the wings. They are modified into the wings, and they have a lot of feathers on them, which help in building up the proper air resistance, proper air pressure, and flying properly. Okay, apart from that, birds, they have very hollow and light bones, because of which their weight is reduced. And once their weight is reduced, it is quite easy for them to fly, right? And they have very strong shoulder bones, and that is why they can flap their wings like this. Okay, and they also have the hind limbs in the walking, right? The legs basically. So I'm going to write that down here for you. Hind limbs for walking. Okay, and shoulder bones are very, very strong. Shoulder bones are very strong. That is why they can flap their wings. Okay, and hind limbs are there for the walking, right? Also, the bones are hollow, as in they do not have anything. They are empty on the inside. They're like the hollow pipes, and lightweight, which helps in reducing the weight and having a higher flight for the birds. Next thing that we are going to talk about is the snakes. Let's say snakes do not have any limbs at all, okay, and they just are the organisms which move fast by slithering, but they never move fast into a straight line. They need to move like this, right? They need to move like this. Everybody has seen some snakes in the Discovery Channel, onto the Discovery Channel in the TV, right? Onto the TV basically. So they have a long, long backbone which extends up to their tail. And with that backbone, very thin muscles are attached, right? And that helps in making the body move fast like this in a slithering action, right? But they cannot move on the smooth surface. Snakes can never move onto the smooth surface. Okay, they are always going to need the friction in order to move, as they do not have any limbs. That is why they cannot move onto a smooth surface, right? So they have a long, long backbone, show slithering movements, also show slithering movements. Also, they never move in straight line or onto the smooth surfaces. Right? I hope you guys understand that. And next is the disease of the skeletal, right? Osteoporosis is one of the disease of the skeletal where the muscles become very weak, they becomes very fragile, and the people with osteoporosis, even if they're trying to move their hand, or even if they're trying to lift a very small thing, let's say they are trying to lift a glass of water, even then their bones will fall apart. Okay, the bones will break, the bones will fall apart. So you see, bones become very weak or very fragile, right? And lifting up lifting up even a glass of water in severe cases. I'm talking about very severe cases, okay? In severe cases can lead to fracture, can lead to fracture, right? As you can see right here as well, the bones become very brittle, as in they are not flexible. They become very thin and they become very spongy as in, you know, kind of mushy. So to avoid the osteoporosis, you have got to walk daily at least for half an hour, and you've got to drink a lot of milk. All right. Osteoporosis although is found in the old people, the people who have gone over the age of 70, right? Otherwise it could also be found in the little kids who do not drink milk, okay, or who do not have a lot of calcium in their bones, right? Now moving forward to the leukemia and the osteomalacia. See, leukemia is basically the cancer of the white blood cells, right? And this leads to the deformation of the bones, okay? So deformation of the bones. And when that happens, deformation of bones, when that happens, it's very difficult for the body to move properly. Apart from that, it also leads to the, let's say, less efficient functioning of bone marrow, which is present inside the bones, right? Everybody knows about the bone marrow, how bone marrow is responsible for making all the different kind of cells which are found in the blood, right? And next is the osteomalacia. Osteomalacia is very similar to the osteoporosis. Only thing is that it is basically characterized by the types of the bone losses. See, osteomalacia basically is characterized by the small kids which have a very high vitamin D deficiency. Okay, vitamin D deficiency is what we are talking about. So the important thing here is the bones are going to become very soft. There's going to be a lot of pain in the bones. Okay, a lot of weakness will be there. You'll find it very difficult to walk, or you know, to sit. There'll be a lot of lower back pain, and it'll be a lot of painful in your feet to walk, and muscle cramps will be there. So if you want to, you know, get rid of this particular disease, all you've got to do is you'll have to have a lot of vitamin D in your supplements for several weeks to months to cure the osteomalacia. Okay. And that being said, we have the rickets. Rickets, as you can see right here, is also the vitamin D deficiency disease. Okay. For this also, you'll have to have a lot of supplements. You can see the different kind of symptoms which are found. The soft spot is found on the head, the bony necklace is basically the bones right here, which are right here, they're going to be malformed and not properly strong. Okay. And you can see the big lumpy joints because there is no proper calcium, there's no proper vitamin D for the sake of proper formation or proper working of the bones. So the bones will sort of start to swell due to the pain and stuff. And both legs, obviously the knees will bend down because they won't have any strength of their own, right? And now when the chapter is finished, we are going to do a lot of questions. Okay. Now see, listen to this question. A snail moves by its muscular wings, foot, fins, and none of these. Yes, you're absolutely correct. It is the foot. We just talked about it. The muscle cover the skin, bones, both A and B, none of these. Think about it. Yes, bones. The skull covers and protects the eyes, nose, brain, none of these. Skull. Yes, it's the brain, right? Let's check our answers then. Yay, we're absolutely correct. And now I have two more questions. So don't get relaxed. Be on your toes. To which bones are thigh bones attached? Thigh bones, we are talking about the femur, okay, pelvic bone, hinge joint, shoulder bone, backbone. Again, pelvic bone, hinge joint, shoulder bone, backbone. We are talking about the bones. So the joint is already incorrect. Shoulder bone is present right here and backbone is present in the Back, as in the spinal column. So we have the pelvic bone right here, which is the only left correct option. Next question is, the pelvic bones together with the last two part of the backbone, they form a large bony bowl, which is called as the thigh bone, hip bone, knee bone, and pelvis. Think about it. We are talking about a bony bowl. Bony bowl, which is formed because of the pelvic bones. It should be called as the pelvis, right? Let's check our answers. Yes, we are absolutely correct, right? Now, these kind of questions will obviously show up, so you'll have to see how exactly you learn everything, especially the locations and the bone names, all right? Now, that is all for today. It was fun learning, teaching with you people, and we'll be moving to the next chapter soon, all right? Take care, everybody. Have fun, stay safe, and learn a lot.